Greetings, YouTube. When Lakeith Smith was 15, he was involved in 2 robberies with some other teens. They were confronted by the cops, and the cops shot one of the teens 4 times, killing him. His name was Odante Washington. Now that in and of itself is a tragedy. What's worse is the fact that Lakeith Smith has been found guilty of his friend's death, even though he wasn't holding a weapon, even though he's not the person that shot and killed his friend. It was a cop. No one disputes the fact that it was a cop. The cop, of course, has not been charged with anything, because it was a black person. And all they have to say is, I thought he was brandishing a gun, and they just get to walk away. Now, Lakeith Smith was offered a 25-year plea bargain, but he didn't take it because he thought it was absurd. How can he be found guilty for the death of his friend when a cop shot him? Well, he was. And he got 30 years in prison for his friend's death that he had nothing to do with, as well as 35 years in prison for 2 burglary charges. That seems a little heavy-handed in my book. He was 15. Remember, humans don't stop brain development until they're 25. So holding a 15-year-old accountable for their actions of this type to the tune of a 65-year prison sentence, half of that being for the death of his friend that he had nothing to do with, seems like it just might be overboard. Now, I can understand the concept that if a victim dies during a burglary or a robbery, that you would hold all of the people involved in the burglary or robbery accountable for that death. I 100% understand that. But no victim was harmed in this. The person that died was killed by a cop. Unless the court is arguing that the cop was part of the robbery and felony, then why isn't he in prison as well? But the cop wasn't part of the robbery. Or burglary, I should probably say. He just showed up, shot and killed a teenager. And then somehow, one of the teenager's friends is going to spend 30 years in prison for his friend's death. Now, I would say that baffles me, but I have somewhat of a grasp of institutionalized racism, so it doesn't baffle me as much as it might. So this black teenager is going to go to prison and maybe be eligible for parole in 20 or 25 years. A full-blown adult. The criminal record that he's never going to shake. For being stupid at 15 and being present when his friend was killed by a cop. That ain't justice.